OceanX is on a mission to explore the ocean and bring it back to the world. Here are some of our most memorable moments of exploration. Encounters with squid, incredible megafauna, graceful dolphins, and awe-inspiring sharks.
Did you know dolphins sleep with only one half of their brain at a time? Or that orcas are technically in the dolphin family? There are more than 30 species of dolphins, and they all have their own unique identities, communication styles, and characteristics. Let's dive in and take a look at some of our favorite dolphin encounters. Bottlenose. Dolphins are incredibly social creatures and live in groups called pods, which can have anywhere from 2 to 30 individuals. Members of pods can change, and there have even been mixed species pods observed in the wild. Sometimes, pods can merge into temporary superpods of hundreds or even thousands of dolphins, typically in areas with an abundance of food. Dolphins are superior hunters. The pods can work together to corral prey. Dolphins can also use tools to their advantage. In the Red Sea, some dolphins rub against corals and sponges that may have antibacterial properties to protect themselves from infections. Bottlenose dolphins in Shark Bay, Australia use sea sponges as tools. They put them on their snouts while foraging on the seafloor, giving them extra protection from scratches. Not only can they use tools, dolphins are one of the few animals that can recognize their reflection in a mirror. Because dolphins are so intelligent, humans have trained them to help with underwater tasks like locating missing people and objects, delivering equipment to divers, and even carrying surveillance equipment. Spinner dolphins. Spinner dolphins, like these in Costa Rica, are known for leaping out of the water and can spin up to 7 times in the air. No one knows exactly why spinner dolphins spin. It could be a form of communication, a form of play, or a way to shake parasites from their skin. Dolphins have many vocalizations, including whistles, squeaks, moans, barks, groans, and yelps. Each individual dolphin has a unique whistle that other dolphins can recognize, and they can use these whistles to identify each other, similar to the way we use each other's names. Rhesus dolphins. We spotted these rhesus dolphins in the Red Sea in 2022. Rhesus dolphins are one of the larger members of the dolphin family. They have bulbous heads, specifically for communication and echolocation. When they hunt, dolphins use echolocation, making loud clicking sounds and listening to the echoes to find their prey. Rhesus dolphins are also known for having extensive white scars on their skin. The scars come from other dolphins' teeth during social interactions. Dolphins have been observed entertaining themselves with bubbles, seaweed, and other animals, including jellyfish, sea turtles, and even sperm whales. When they're not playing, rhesus dolphins dive for food as deep as 2,000 feet. They perform a special spinning dive to descend even faster. A rhesus pod in Shark Bay, Australia, has a creative hunting strategy. They've been observed holding shells in their mouths and using them to catch fish. Orcas. Last but certainly not least, did you know the largest member of the dolphin family is the killer whale? OceanX captured this aerial footage of 2 orcas swimming together in Costa Rica. All whales, dolphins, and porpoises are part of a larger category of animals called cetaceans. This group is split into 2 smaller categories. There are baleen whales and toothed whales. Toothed whales are broken down into 5 groups: narwhals and belugas, sperm whales, beaked whales, dolphins, and porpoises. So all dolphins are whales, but not all whales are dolphins. Like other dolphins, orcas typically hunt in groups. How long do whale sharks live? And why are hammerhead sharks disappearing? And what would it be like to have a tail the length of your entire body? From tagging a deep-sea giant from a submersible to filming the intricate mating rituals of fierce predators, OceanX has always been pushing marine science to new heights from Earth's deepest depths. This is OceanX Encounters: Sharks. Before we drift down to the seafloor, let's see how we tagged the biggest shark in the ocean, the whale shark. Whale sharks are sharks, not whales. They're the biggest fish on the planet. Most are 20 to 30 feet long, but they can grow to be over 40 feet. Scientists think these gentle giants may be able to live to over 100 years old, though the oldest one we know of is about 50. Hundreds of whale sharks gather to feed at certain times of the year in a few places around the world, including Oman, Australia, the Galapagos, Mexico, Mozambique, and the Seychelles. In 2020, ocean explorers set out on an expedition in the Red Sea. One of the scientists on board was whale shark researcher Dr. Jesse Cochran. Scientists know that there are seasonal whale shark hotspots in the southern Red Sea. Dr. Cochran wanted to find out if a similar site existed in the northern Red Sea. Because whale sharks spend so much time in the open ocean, finding one is like looking for a needle in a haystack. Luckily, one night towards the end of the expedition, when the ship's lights were on, plankton started to flock to the vessel. This sudden swarm caught the attention of a whale shark. Dr. Cochran jumped in the water as quickly as he could to tag it. Dr. Cochran is a trained professional, and tagging sharks with satellite trackers doesn't harm them in any way. The tracker is designed to eventually fall off the dorsal fin. This was the farthest north a whale shark has ever been tagged in the Red Sea. And the tag allowed researchers to collect data on the shark's movement for 6 months so they can better understand where these sharks live.
We would tag a whale shark today. Life is good.
Thresher sharks. Thresher sharks are one of the fastest shark species. Their swimming speeds reach 30 miles an hour, but what's truly impressive? They can whip their long tails at up to 80 miles an hour to stun their prey. Their tail fins are the same length as their body. Threshers can grow to 20 feet, so that's a pretty long tail. Just below the surface of the Red Sea, scientists on the Ocean Explorer had their first ever encounters with live thresher sharks from our submersibles.
Thresher shark! Thresher shark! That's the first live thresher shark I've ever seen in my life.
Fantastic.
Gray reef sharks. Sharks have an important role in marine ecosystems around the world, which is why OceanX commonly encounters them even on missions where studying them isn't our main objective. When we surveyed bioluminescent fish in the Solomon Islands, OceanX scuba divers also encountered gray reef sharks. This gray reef shark belongs to a subpopulation of the species known for the distinct white edge of its dorsal fin. Gray reef sharks hang out in groups during the day and spend the night hunting alone. Scalloped hammerheads. In the Galapagos, we saw this massive school of scalloped hammerheads. Scalloped hammerheads spend a lot of time on their own, but sometimes form schools of hundreds of sharks. Scientists are still trying to understand why. The numbers in these schools can reach several hundred, making them easy targets for fishermen. In parts of the Atlantic, their populations have declined by over 95% over the past 3 decades. Hammerheads are among the most common sharks caught for finning, where the fins of sharks are cut off and the rest of the animal is discarded in the water. Oceanic whitetips are nocturnal hunters, and they like their water deep. They dive to around 500 feet every night to look for prey. When they're not feeding, oceanic whitetips swim slowly to save energy between meals. This species is fearless and sometimes considered aggressive when human divers have encountered them in the open ocean. But humans have had a much greater impact on the sharks. In the Pacific, their numbers have declined by about 90% in the past 30 years, mainly because they're bycatch from commercial fishing. On a 2019 mission in the Bahamas, OceanX captured courtship maneuvers in oceanic white-tip sharks. This was the first time that the mating behaviors of this species had ever been filmed. Scientists were able to observe parallel swimming, nosing, and biting between these two sharks. Scientists also discovered a new behavior they call the circleback, where the male shark loops back to follow the trail of the female shark, possibly to investigate olfactory cues. This footage supports the hypothesis that oceanic whitetips mate in the eastern Bahamas in the summertime. These sharks are critically endangered due to overfishing, and knowing when and where they mate is a key part of recovery efforts and underlines the need to protect these habitats. In Costa Rica, in the waters around Cocos Island, OceanX divers observed another large school of sharks, white-tip reef sharks. OceanX was able to capture this great footage of the white-tips feeding at night. The white-tip reef shark is different from the oceanic white-tip shark. The white-tip reef shark is much smaller and prefers to hang out in groups by coastal reefs, whereas the oceanic whitetips are much more solitary and are a pelagic species. These sharks spend most of their time resting in caves. Wait a minute, don't sharks have to swim constantly to breathe? Nope, this is only true for a handful of species. Sharks that must keep swimming to breathe are called obligate ram ventilators. But most shark species, including white-tip reef sharks, are buccal pumpers. They're able to pump water over their gills with their cheek muscles. We had another incredible shark encounter in the Bahamas. We descended over 1,600 feet to tag a deep-sea shark from a submersible for the first time ever. Our objective was the blunt-nosed six-gill shark. What we're seeing here is footage from a specialized submersible rig created by OceanX scientists, fit with a bait station and spear gun loaded with a satellite tag. This harmless tag helps track the movement patterns of these elusive sharks. This is an ancient species that predates most dinosaurs, and it's a dominant predator. Because blunt-nosed six-gills are a deep-sea species, it's hard on them physiologically when they're brought to the surface to be tagged by scientists. And the data obtained after surface tagging of a six-gill is believed to be skewed because the shark doesn't return to its normal behaviors for some time after the tagging event. On the last dive of the last day of the expedition, we waited on the dark seafloor in our submersible. We tagged a large male six-gill, the first time the species had been tagged at its natural depth. It was a historic moment for OceanX and for all scientists who study deep-sea animals. And brains shaped like donuts. Some of them have the largest eyes on Earth and blue blood giants who prowl the deep, rarely seen by humans. Here are a few of OceanX's favorite squid encounters. The big fin squid. The world's deepest dwelling squid is the big fin squid. In 2021, researchers filmed a juvenile big fin squid at the bottom of the Philippine Trench at a depth of about 20,000 feet below the surface. The big fin squid is pretty elusive, so scientists aren't sure why it has such long arms and tentacles. They hypothesized that the big fin squid might use its long arms to trap prey animals when it bumps into them, or it might drag its arms along the seafloor to sweep up its prey. The largest known big fin squid is 21 feet long. That would be taller than the average adult giraffe. The giant squid. The giant squid is the world's longest squid. The largest giant squid ever recorded was nearly 43 feet long and may have weighed almost a ton. The giant squid is rarely seen. It was only in 2012 that it was first filmed alive in its natural habitat, in Japanese waters. It typically lives deep underwater in the twilight zone at depths below 1,000 feet. This makes it difficult to study. But sperm whales offer some helpful clues. They're the only animal that preys on the giant squid. Many sperm whales have scars on their skin that match the suckers on the giant squid's tentacles. And the squid's beaks are often found in sperm whales' stomachs. Based on the size of those beaks, scientists think that the giant squid could grow to 66 feet long. And the giant squid's eyes are the size of dinner plates, the biggest eyes in the animal kingdom. But scientists still have many questions about this squid, like how exactly do they reproduce and just how common are they? The strawberry squid. Just like a strawberry, the strawberry squid is covered in tiny spots. These spots are special cells called photophores, which the squid uses to produce its own light, called bioluminescence. The strawberry squid is also called the cockeyed squid because its eyes are different sizes and colors. It's born with two identical eyes, but as it grows up, the left eye gets way bigger than the right eye, sometimes double the size, and develops a yellow lens. The squid keeps that large left eye pointed up, scanning for the silhouettes of prey swimming above. The small, blue right eye looks down and is optimized to spot bioluminescent flashes from potential prey in the waters below. In addition to their mismatched eyes, they've also got donut-shaped brains. All squids do. Their esophagus passes through the middle of their brain. This means they have to take very small bites of food. Strawberry squid live in the tropical and subtropical waters of the Atlantic to depths of 3,300 feet. The Humboldt squid. The Humboldt squid, also known as the jumbo squid, grows to 6 feet. It can jet through the water at 15 miles an hour. To put that into perspective, the record for the fastest human swimmer is 5 miles per hour. Humboldt squid hunt in massive packs. When marine biologists from the Monterey Bay Aquarium Research Institute observed footage of these hunts, the squid didn't bump into each other or fight each other for the same fish. The squids seem to be coordinating, communicating by changing colors in specific patterns. Changing colors for camouflage and communication is well known in cephalopods, and that's all well and good when you live in shallow waters where there's light to see these patterns. But Humboldt squid live in the deep sea where there's no light, at around 1,000 feet below the surface. The researchers discovered the squid light themselves up from the inside, so they're backlit, like an e-reader, and the patterns are readable in the dark. Their pigment-producing cells, called chromatophores, are layered over their light-producing cells, or photophores. Early evidence from this 2020 study suggests the squid can string these pattern changes together in sequences, like Morse code. We filmed these Humboldt squid in Chile with the help of a glowing lure called an e-jelly. It was invented by marine biologist Dr. Edith Witter. The lure is called an e-jelly because it mimics the flashing display of some deep-sea jellyfish. When the jellyfish is attacked, it produces a pattern of flashing lights called a burglar alarm. This alarm display is meant to attract an even bigger predator to scare away its attacker. And squid are drawn by these displays.
I wanted to be unobtrusive. I had been trying to figure out ways to do it with red light that would be invisible, hopefully, to these deep sea animals that see primarily only blue light. And then that we would use this optical lure to bring the squid to us. Just amazing, amazing footage. Now look at this monster coming in. It's turning dark. That's not a change in the illumination pattern. You can see that it's turning dark. It's not shooting its tentacles out. It's just going straight to the arm attack mode. It's pulling on the arms of the bait squid. And remember, all of this is happening without sunlight, without light. The only light is bioluminescence.
The bigfin reef squid. The bigfin reef squid mainly lives around rocks and coral reefs. We found these squid on a reef in the Red Sea. Like other squid species, it can change colors for communication and camouflage. Unlike other squids, it can do this from the moment it hatches. This species doesn't live for very long. The longest recorded lifespan for a bigfin reef squid is less than a year, just 315 days. The bobtail squid. The bobtail squid is also known adorably as the dumpling squid. While technically not a true squid, it is part of the cephalopod family and closely related to other squids, octopuses, cuttlefishes, and the chambered nautilus. This dumpling is a stealth master with some help from an interesting source. The squid hunts at night in shallow waters where it's backlit by the moon and the stars above. Its underside lights up to match the intensity of the moonlight. This hides the squid's outline so potential prey animals swimming below aren't scared away by its shadow. This is called counterillumination. But the squid itself isn't producing this light. The light comes from a glowing bacteria that the squid hosts within a special organ in its body. Bobtail squid are small, growing to about an inch long or around the size of a standard golf ball. This one is definitely smaller than the size of your hand, maybe even your finger. If your answer includes dolphins, sharks, whales, seals, manta rays, or any other large marine animal, you're in luck. Over many years of ocean exploration, OceanX scientists have encountered some pretty spectacular marine megafauna. Here are a few of our favorite megafauna moments. But first, what exactly do we mean by megafauna? Marine megafauna means any large organism living in the ocean. Sharks, turtles, rays, whales, you get the picture. While all of these animals are impressive, let's start with a fan favorite, the dolphin. Bottlenose dolphins are a favorite for a reason. They're curious, intelligent, and have captured the hearts of people around the world. OceanX encountered these bottlenose dolphins in the Cocos Islands. Dolphins communicate with each other by making a series of whistles, clicks, and squeals. Every bottlenose dolphin has its own signature whistle, which it uses to identify itself to other dolphins. The OceanX team often encounters dolphins when we're not necessarily looking for them, often in the ship's wake and bow break. We filmed this pod of spinner dolphins in Fernando de Noronha, an archipelago in Brazil. Dolphins prefer to pursue prey in groups to increase their hunting efficiency. Spinner dolphins are known for spinning their bodies in the air, making as many as 7 rotations at a time. Sea turtles. Sea turtles are a keystone species for the global ocean. For instance, leatherback turtles eat lots of jellyfish, so they keep the jellyfish population in check. Sea turtles also help keep coral reef and seafloor habitats healthy. Green sea turtles are primarily herbivores and eat mostly seagrass and algae. This is what gives their cartilage and fat a greenish color. In 2018, Dr. Nathan Robinson recorded some incredible POV footage from a camera strapped to the back of a turtle. TurtleCam was a project to temporarily mount cameras onto the shells of sea turtles to gain scientific insights into their secret lives. All 7 species of sea turtles are endangered. Most turtles never survive past the hatchling stage. Studies tracking their survival rates suggest that only 1 in 10,000 sea turtles live to be adults. Sea lions. We've encountered sea lions all over the world, including this group in the Sea of Cortez. These curious aquatic mammals live all over the world except for the northern Atlantic Ocean. Similar to humans, sea lions are very social. They travel in large groups or colonies. These colonies can have subgroups which often change over a sea lion's lifetime. While in the waters near Galapagos Islands, we found these sea lions hanging out on the beach. Sea lions rotate their hind flippers to create an elbow, which enables them to scoot around on land much better than other pinnipeds. Pinniped means fin-footed in Latin. This group includes seals, sea lions, and walruses. Sea lions breathe through their nostrils while on land. The nostrils close as they dive into the water. Along with dolphins, sea lions have been trained by the US Navy as part of the Navy's marine mammal program since the Vietnam War. 30 sea lions at San Diego's naval base patrol restricted waters and can find undersea objects faster and better than human divers. Seals. At first glance, seals and sea lions may look fairly similar. They're both pinnipeds, which means fin-footed in Latin, but they have a few key differences. Seals have short front flippers. On land, they get around by shimmying on their bellies. Sea lions, on the other hand, have longer flippers that they can use to walk on land. Another difference? Sea lions have visible ear flaps. Seals don't have external ears. Instead, they have tiny holes on the sides of their heads. Seals are more streamlined in the water and less sociable than sea lions. There are 19 seal species that live all over the world. We filmed these seals in Antarctica. Fossil records lead scientists to believe that the ancestors of seals first entered the ocean on the North American west coast somewhere between 28 and 30 million years ago. Most seals are opportunistic feeders. They have a thick layer of blubber that allows them to go extended periods of time between meals. The leopard seal is a top predator in Antarctic waters. Its only potential threat is orcas. Leopard seals are only found around the South Pole. This makes their interactions difficult to study. Scientists are still trying to figure out how leopard seals choose mates and establish territories. But it's thought that their vocalizations play an important role in finding and selecting a mate. Leopard seals are notorious for eating penguins, but a big portion of their diet is actually comprised of other seabirds, fish, krill, smaller seals, and squid. Whales. We can't finish off a video about marine megafauna without talking about the largest mammal on the planet, the whale. We spotted these sperm whales in the Azores, an archipelago of 9 volcanic islands in the North Atlantic off the coast of Portugal. Sperm whales are the largest of the toothed whales. Males can weigh up to 50 tons. Sperm whales hunt for food during deep dives that regularly reach depths of 2,000 feet. They're capable of going even deeper, diving to depths of over 10,000 feet for more than 60 minutes at a time. They're often hunting for giant and colossal squid.